He said, man, that sure is some good-looking stagecoach. That's what they call a motorhome.
For 60 years, Ernest Borgnine stayed silent about the co-star who made his life a nightmare. Now, shocking details emerge. Violent outbursts, sabotaged scenes, and a coffee-throwing incident that left someone with second-degree burns. But the most explosive revelation wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal. Today, Hollywood's most dangerous feud finally comes to light. Borgnine's path to stardom was unexpected. Born Ernest Borgnine in 1917 to Italian immigrants, he spent his early childhood in Italy before his family reunited in the U.S. Adapting to change became a theme in his life. Growing up in Connecticut, he had no interest in acting. His passion was sports. After high school, he enlisted in the U.S. Navy, serving for a decade. He saw combat in World War II, rising to gunner's mate first class. War hardened him, instilling discipline and camaraderie, qualities that later shaped his military roles on screen. He almost stayed in the Navy, but a simple suggestion from his mother changed everything. Why not try acting? With no experience, Borgnine enrolled in drama school and joined the Barter Theater, where actors were paid in food. He took every role, built sets, even cleaned toilets. One chaotic performance, chasing a live chicken across the stage, taught him how to improvise and engage an audience. His break came with The Glass Menagerie, leading to a Broadway debut in Harvey, where he studied James Stewart's craft. Hollywood noticed. In 1951, he landed a small TV role, then a film role in The Whistle at Eaton Falls. Then came From Here to Eternity, 1953. His role as the sadistic Sergeant Fatso Judson, who viciously beats Frank Sinatra's character to death, was brutal and unforgettable. Even Sinatra doubted him until the cameras rolled. This was just the beginning of a career that would make him a Hollywood legend. Borgnine fully embodied his roles. To play Sergeant Fatso Judson, he isolated himself for days, becoming so convincing that Sinatra refused to speak to him off camera. Even crew members avoided him. The role haunted him long after filming. He had nightmares for months. Some audiences were so disturbed they sent him death threats. But it made him a star. 2 years later, he shocked Hollywood again. Not as a villain, but as a lonely butcher in Marty. Made on a tiny budget of $343,000, the film became a surprise hit. In 1955, Borgnine won Best Actor at 38, beating legends like James Dean and Spencer Tracy. Ironically, he almost didn't get the role. Director Delbert Mann wanted Rod Steiger. But after a chance encounter at a Hollywood party, Borgnine's natural charm landed him the part. He refused to be typecast. At 50, he starred in The Dirty Dozen, impressing younger co-stars by doing his own stunts. In The Wild Bunch, his character's maniacal laughter during a brutal shootout became legendary and haunted him for years. His biggest TV break came with McHale's Navy, where he used his real-life military experience to bring authenticity to the comedic role. The show wasn't all fun. He suffered severe burns from an on-set accident. Surprisingly, the U.S. Navy even used the show's strategies for classified training exercises. In Airwolf, at 67, he still did his own stunts, barely escaping death when a helicopter crashed just feet away. Then, a new generation met him as Mermaid Man in SpongeBob SquarePants. His grandson, a huge fan, encouraged him to join. A chance meeting at a charity event led to an impromptu audition on a napkin, securing the role. Even at 95, Borgnine was still working. Ironically, after winning an Oscar, he once dismissed TV as a fad. Decades later, it became his legacy. At a charity event, Borgnine met a terminally ill boy who told him that watching his movies brought him joy. That moment changed his view on television. He realized TV could connect with people in a way films couldn't. By the time he embraced TV, The Real McCoys was already a hit, but he didn't make the same mistake twice. When McHale's Navy came along, he took it. Later, he admitted, "I was a fool to think TV was beneath me." It's not about the size of the screen, but the size of the audience's heart. Borgnine's love life was as dramatic as his career. Married 5 times, he faced heartbreak, scandal, and, finally, true devotion. His first wife, Rhoda Kemmons, was with him before fame. But as Hollywood changed his life, their marriage crumbled. His second wife, fiery Mexican actress Katie Jurado, brought passion and public fights until their divorce in 1963. His shortest and most infamous marriage was to Broadway legend Ethel Merman in 1964. It lasted just over a month. What began as a fairy tale turned into a nightmare, culminating in a heated argument in Tokyo. In her autobiography, she dedicated an entire chapter to their marriage, but left the page blank. That blank page hurt more than anything she could have written, Borgnine later admitted. After another failed marriage to Donna Runcourt, which produced 3 children, he finally found lasting love with Norwegian businesswoman Tove Tresnes. Married in 1973, they remained together for nearly 40 years. Borgnine adored and supported her, even joking that he was the world's oldest Avon lady after appearing in her beauty ads. In his final interview, weeks before his passing at 95, he credited Tove for keeping him going. On July 8, 2012, he died with her by his side, holding his hand. Meanwhile, Borgnine's strong personality clashed with Shelley Winters on the Poseidon Adventure, setting the stage for one of Hollywood's most unforgettable behind-the-scenes feuds. Borgnine and Shelley Winters had a tense working relationship on the Poseidon Adventure. Winters, known for her demanding approach, arrived on set with a 20-page backstory and often pushed for script changes. Borgnine found working with her exhausting, as she wanted to control every detail. Their biggest challenge was a grueling underwater scene. Winters insisted on doing her own stunts to prove she could still swim like a champion at 51. The scene, meant to be quick, stretched into a brutal 14-hour shoot with 65 takes. Despite the frustration, Winters' dedication paid off. She earned an Oscar nomination. Borgnine later admitted she was difficult, unpredictable, but undeniably talented. In Bad Day at Black Rock, 1955, Borgnine faced another challenge, working with Spencer Tracy. At 37, he was still proving himself, while Tracy, a 2-time Oscar winner, dominated every scene. Tracy improvised lines, keeping co-stars off balance. During one take, he threw in an unexpected line, leaving Borgnine frozen. That raw moment made the final cut. Filming was intense. In one scene, Borgnine messed up his lines 7 times, visibly frustrating Tracy. Their tension fueled their on-screen dynamic, culminating in a legendary diner fight. Tracy's character, a one-armed war veteran, had to take down Borgnine's brute force. It took 14 takes. By the 7th, Borgnine accidentally hit Tracy's jaw. The set went silent, but Tracy brushed it off. Already on edge, Borgnine kept making mistakes. The pressure was immense, but the result was one of the most memorable fight scenes in film history. Borgnine's most unforgettable moment in Bad Day at Black Rock came when Spencer Tracy, staring him down, delivered the line, "You're not only wrong, you're wrong at the top of your voice." It felt personal, as if Tracy wasn't just speaking to his character, but to Borgnine himself. On Johnny Guitar, Joan Crawford and Mercedes McCambridge's feud turned violent. Borgnine and Sterling Hayden had to pull them apart. He later called it the most unprofessional behavior he'd seen. Crawford's temper was legendary. She once threw hot coffee at an assistant, burning him. Borgnine learned to steer clear. On the last day, she gifted the crew Pepsi bottles, but still vowed to ruin McCambridge's career. Years later, Borgnine said, "Working with Joan was like juggling dynamite. Brilliant, but scary."